we saw a grown man on a bicycle racing after a kid. He was like, hey kid. And he stopped the kid because the kid was walking away and had dropped an orange a block away. And the man stopped and he said, sweetie, you're gonna need this, you'll be hungry. And the kid said, okay, thank you, and put it in his bag, and the man drove off. It's really where we started to understand the desperation of the situation, and also the need of those kids to truly try to take care of each other. Puddin the Grumble is a musical about a family that's filled with love that is enduring poverty. And the little girl who is the protagonist of the story, Puddin, goes on a journey where she falls through some cracks because of that poverty and because of the desperateness of the situation, and ends up living through some really frightening distortions because of the effect hunger is having on her body. And so those distortions cause her to behave differently than she would if she wasn't hungry, which leads to some pretty big problems that she needs some help solving. And she finds answers to her problems through new friends and her own loving family, and most importantly, with her own inner strength.
I feel inside that's winter without mama.
The spark of inspiration for this project came originally when Petra and I were sitting in our office and we heard a story about second graders in Utah who had delinquent lunch accounts. And it was during lunch period where administrators discovered that these accounts were delinquent. And instead of letting the children eat their meals, they sent teachers in to actually pick up lunch trays and throw meals away. And that seemed impossible to us. We got really angry about that.
We have about almost 50% of the children here are on free or reduced lunch. So that's a huge number, but you could live in Lincoln all your life and really have no idea.
Shortly after that, the Lead Center Executive Director, Bill Steffen, came to us with these statistics and said, I'd really like the Lead Center to be able to play a role in making a difference. How can we work together to make a dent in this?
The whole community could come together, and once you acknowledge that it's there, then you can say, well, what are we going to do about it? The power of theater is that not only do you kind of get a story told to you, but you get the opportunity to walk in someone else's shoes.
If you went right up to a person and said, you know, these people are hungry, what are you going to do about it? That could be maybe kind of abrasive. But if someone experiences that in the context of this musical, then maybe that gives them the chance to sit back and kind of think about what that actually means.
Maybe we'll be there together.
You and me.
I didn't have to tell this story as a musical. It became a musical because I had access to the best composer I know. I often feel that the best art is truly collaborative.
What we hope we did was create something that, because of the music helping to serve the story, kind of bolsters it and lifts it up in a way that we couldn't have done without the musical element.
I get the best people, and then I let them do their thing, and then that usually turns out really great.
I'm not a writer that works with an outline. I have an idea and I let the characters lead.
Well, the music always has to serve the text, and so the lyrics that Becky gives me are really important in determining what the sound of the characters is going to be.
At Clinton, 94% of the kids take a food backpack home on the weekend. We were drawn to them because the Food Bank of Lincoln told us that there was a group of kids there, fifth graders, who literally on Friday afternoon, they skipped their lunch, part of their lunch and recess, to put together food backpacks for their peers and distribute them.
We went straight to the food bank here in Lincoln to make sure that they would partner with us every step of the way. They were like, yeah, you're telling the right story. This is what happens. They are amazing partners.
The kids at Clinton Elementary School served as a major inspiration for this piece.
What we did was we started to come up with our own ideas, and so we each would like take turns and be like, what do you think should be here? What do you think should be here? What do you think should be here? And then we'd all be like, can we read the script? Can we read the script? And so it was really fun how we got to like be involved, because we basically got to create the plot.
There's not one kid whose story Puddin the Grumble encompasses, but just being embraced and welcomed into their lives, learning how they felt about food. We have so much to learn from young people who understand that taking care of each other is our job as human beings, and there's no shame.
When people say, you're telling my story, and I can walk away here with a sense of dignity that I didn't have before.
The reason storytelling is so powerful is because we find what resonates in others within ourselves. These kids are like my kids. I'm like their mom. How do we keep this sort of circular flow of storytelling as opposed to me living in a window looking outside upon them? It's finding the story within and how it connects to others.
This winter, without Mama. Mama, please come back for us. I promise I won't make a fuss. I promise I won't make a fuss. I promise.